Hello, Magic Makers. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're hearing my voice right now, this tarot reading is for you. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Magic Makers, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the Two of Pentacles, this is a card of change, right? This is someone who is working hard to change their life. This is someone who is juggling responsibilities, feeling as if they are, navigating the ups and downs of life the best that they can. Okay, this is somebody who is dealing with schedule changes and financial things that are sort of moving around, a lot of moving parts in life, balancing priorities, being resourceful. And I think that, if anything, I feel like your friends and family would say that you're a very resourceful and very adaptable person. Like you can rub two pennies together to make $1, You can really stretch a budget, You're good under pressure. Not always. Sometimes we freak out, right? But it's a dynamic energy that you're constantly adjusting and you're quick to respond to life. You're in this continual negotiation with the changing demands of your life. You're someone who is trying to more easily, manage your responsibilities with flexibility and some sort of control. In other words, you're very proactive. You're a busy person. You're a multitasker. You're dealing with a lot, and you're dealing with changes, and you're trying to keep up. You're trying to spin the plates, and you're trying to improve your life. Let's see where this is going. Yeah, this is somebody who is working toward their sovereignty. This is a Jupiter and Capricorn energy. Trying to improve your life. You're trying to earn your sovereignty here. Okay. Here we have that 10 of Cups. Wow. If you're new here, welcome to the community. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss the next transmission. Oh, you got the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. That's always my favorite when we get the water and the earth together like that. 10 of 10. This is long-term happiness and long-term wealth. Beautiful. And it's because of your discipline and your hardworking attitude and you being proactive and you trusting in your intuition and you, accepting some criticism and just staying focused, and all of those good things are going to really bring you to the wealth and the happiness, long-term stable wealth and happiness, despite the challenges, Despite the hardships, despite the sufferings that you've had to endure, you're still there. You're keeping this going. There's the Ace of Wands and the Magician. You are the Magic Maker. Claim your role as a Magic Maker in the comments. You're keeping the fire lit. You're staying motivated. You're staying focused. You're staying concentrated, and you're staying enthusiastic even. Okay, even when it's difficult. You're changing your life, the Eon card, and the Prince of Pentacles. You're building the life that you truly, truly desire. You're building your authentic life that is aligned with your true self. Your decisions are reflecting your deepest values in life. Absolutely stunning, wonderful, truly. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set this down right over here. Now, who shall be the guardian of your mystery card. We have some options. Send your choice to the comment section as well. I feel like this has kind of been a common theme in the collective readings, but we're going to go with our descending dove because I feel like this is really like you've been proactive. You've been working hard. You've been doing everything in your power to juggle the responsibilities and keep the plate spinning. It's about time you get some grace. It's about time you get the descent of this dove of grace into your life. Yeah. It's about time because you've been the serpent. See, this is I don't know if you can see it. It's a serpent on that card, right? That's saying that we've been going through the motions. We've been grinding away, working hard at life nonstop, burning the candle at both ends, putting in the effort, being proactive. You've been the serpent that's trying to transform and trying to rise. It makes sense that now you would get the dove descending, the grace, the blessings. You're getting blessings and blessings and blessings in your life. So we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, please put your prediction in the comments too. Okay. Now, before we dive in, we need to summon your spirit animal. And here we have the owl spirit, and it says, you see clearly now. You see clearly the benefits of your efforts, the result of your hard work. And I think you seeing clearly means you've blocked out all the noise and you are laser focused on what you want. Where you point your eyes, where you look, is where your body's going to go. The body will follow the eyes, right? You ever notice that when you're trying to walk a straight line? If you start looking at something over here, you're going to drift, right? And I can tell my daughter too. She's 5. We're taking the training wheels off her bike, and we just keep telling her, it's like, you got to look where you want to go. Keep your eyes on the road. Don't look at the bike. Don't look at us. Don't look behind you, because you're going to fall. Stay focused on where you're going, and trust that your body is going to make it happen. That you're the physical realm, right? And the same thing with our thoughts. You keep your thoughts are very active. Your will is very active. Your will is very focused. Focus your thoughts as well, which means let go of some stuff from the past. Okay? There's been a lot of things that you've had to let go of in order to stay on this path that you're on. Don't toy with old sweetnesses. Okay, there are choices that you had to make. These were things that you had to say, no, I'm going to sacrifice those things. I'm not going to choose that path. That's part of the Seven of Wands, or the Seven of Swords, excuse me. There are a lot of paths that you could take. There are a lot of lives that you could have led. And this is somebody that wants to live all those lives, I want to be everybody that I have the potential to be. There are more desires in you that can possibly be fulfilled. There are more versions of you than you can experience in one lifetime. Okay? So what we do is kind of narrow down the choices. You say, I want to be 1,000 different people, Narrow it down to 2 or 3, right? And that's how you focus, and that's how you actually make one of those paths a success. By not just jumping from one path to the other, you pick a mountain and you climb it, okay? You pick a path up the mountain and you devote yourself to that path. Otherwise, the Princess of Cups is jumping from path to path to path, and instead of going up the mountain, it just keeps circling the base, testing out all these different paths. Eventually, we have to paint or get off the ladder, you know what I mean? And that's part of that Seven of Swords, which is just like, we have to say no to certain paths and just say yes to the one that we're gonna be on now. Okay? And so that's I see clearly, right? We've got the blinders on. We're looking straight ahead at what we want. Yeah. We're not getting distracted by all the other possibilities of the lives we could have led. Okay? There'll be time for those later. Right now, focus. Okay? And so the owl spirit, let me know what you think and feel about the owl. Let's go ahead and open up the reading today. And we see that we have couple of really good major arcana energies here, right? The Magician and the portal to a new universe. The Magician is the magic maker. Claim your role as a magic maker right now. Because the Magician is someone who can make things happen. The Magician is the one who is choosing to go through this fiery doorway and basically like choose an identity, choose a direction, choose a path. You can see clearly what's on the other side of this choice. And so it's really saying, like with the fire, the doorway of fire, that you're leaving behind anything that's not essential to this particular universe that you're going to build. There's a new universe on the other side of this doorway. Yeah. And the Magician is the one that's making it happen. First of all, you got to make the choice to go through that doorway that's saying, okay, I can't be 20 different people at once. I've got to unify myself. I've got to identify the path that I want to commit to and focus on, and I just need to do it. That's the choice. And then the Magician, of course, you're putting on that hat, you're putting on that persona, and you're going to be that person. And you're going to create that life, right? You're the one that's making the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles happen. So we have our majors. We've got fire. We've got water and water. We've got air and air. You've got earth, earth, and earth. Oh, sorry, this isn't earth. Well, in a way, it kind of is, okay? This is earth in the sense that it's the Princess of Cups. It's earth of water. So this is ultimately all of the dreams that you could possibly manifest into concrete brick and mortar reality. It kind of is. It's the potential for earth energy. You know what I'm saying? It is the, and I really like that we have so many, so many twos. You know, we got 2 here, we got 2 here. We have the 3 of the 3 cups, which is, you know, anyway, you get my point. The Princess of Cups is all the potential dreams that you could make a reality. There is discernment that is needed, which is saying that you are focused on one particular, you're being proactive and you are making these changes and you are climbing this mountain on one particular path. And I think that it is a broad path in the sense that it's not just like you're focused on career and then nothing else, right? The idea is that you're not getting distracted by what could have been. You're focused on what you are creating. Now, the 10 of Cups, of course, is emotional fulfillment, family happiness, relationship harmony, long-term happiness, a sense of completion in life, a peaceful environment, everything that feels just right. It's satiety. It's a deep, deep fulfillment of life. It's contentment. It's wholeness. You know, this is the creation and the maintenance of emotionally fulfilling relationships that bring lasting happiness. It's the one part of paradise. Okay? The earth and the water together create paradise. The water is that part of paradise that's luxury, harmony, friends, family, pets, plants, people. It's just beauty, it's joy, it's fulfillment, satiety, meaning, and purpose. And of course, the pentacles, food, shelter, you know, an abundance of food and a quantity of things, while this is the quality of things. You're creating both quantity and quality. And I think seeing clearly now is basically saying that we need to continue on that and not worry about the past. Okay? Not have any regrets about the life we didn't choose, about what we did not manifest, about what we didn't, the dreams that we didn't kind of bring into the brick and mortar world of concrete reality. You see? This is really extraordinary. The 3 of Swords is some of that regret. Okay, the 3 of Swords is kind of like, it's the pain, right? If we're seeing things clearly with the owl, the 3 of Swords is the pain. It's the cost of seeing things clearly, right? Because we're realizing that I see clearly my path now, which means I can't be this other person. I can't go and chase those other dreams. I can't go try to be that, I can't go be that person again. That those dreams are either let go of, released, or put on hold. Okay, maybe there is a time to do. Maybe these are things that were possibilities, but weren't actually like authentic paths for you. Okay, so this is you being a very sensitive person. Yeah, I feel like it's the painful truth. That's kind of it's almost a bitter pill to swallow, right? It's the price of seeing things clearly. But I think that it's a little bit bittersweet because this is memory, right? This is memory of some past thing. And usually it's a painful memory, right? In this case, I don't think it's a painful memory. I think that, this is the memory of what I used to want, what I used to love, who I used to be. And the realization that I can't be that person anymore. I don't want those same things anymore. Kind of got to let the Princess of Cups go. Yeah. In exchange for a life that is authentic and happy and fulfilling and abundant and all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, it feels like it's a very positive thing, but there is this sorrow, a little bit of melancholy for the paths we didn't take. Yeah, when we think about, I could have been I used to think, well, maybe I'll go into psychology. I thought, well, maybe I'll be an EMT, maybe I'll be a musician. And I can't even remember everything else that I wanted to be. I want to be a writer, I want to be a poet, I want to be a traveler of the world. And so we could still be all those things, but it's kind of like having that clarity and that focus means that right now I can't be those things. Okay? At some point, maybe we can bring some of that energy back in, but those are paths that we didn't follow. So pain here is the cost of seeing things clearly. Yeah. In a situation where the Princess of Cups was, kind of the other hopes and dreams that we had. Does that make sense? So the Princess of Cups back here, is a romance that we had to let go of. It was an interest or something we were pursuing that now is kind of realizing that this would be a distraction. This would be an old sweetness. And staying attached to that old sweetness is preventing us from really moving forward to what we really want and what we really need and what's gonna work, and like this, this perpetual happiness and abundance that we're after, right? Not that there's anything wrong with these. You could have picked any one of these paths. That's kind of the point, right? You could have picked any one of these paths, and you would have had to focus on it and, put aside the others. These are now kind of in the path. These are the others. These are the ones that you've put aside. You see what I mean? And so, it's the sensitivity, it's an emotional awareness, yeah, but it's just like, these are the daydreams. These are the old fantasies. Yeah. I feel like you have a lot of life in you. You've got a lot of creativity. You love a lot of things. You want a lot of things. You have a lot of dreams, Very curious and very open and artistic and exploratory. But that exploratory energy is done. Now it's all about focus and moving forward. You've explored, you've discovered. Now that's your focus, right? So there's this kind of sorrow for I want to be that person again. We can be again, okay? But now's the time for focus. Okay? And so these are, like I said, these are all those paths that we didn't take. And it's okay to kind of be sorrowful for all those paths and reminisce and stuff. We don't want to get stuck there. We don't want the Three of Swords to become an anchor that's weighing us down from getting long-term happiness and long-term wealth, okay? And like I said, it could have, any one of these paths would have been perfect. But it's kind of like in life, we sort of choose the life we're going to lead. Okay? And it's not to say, again, that, you can't still have those things in your life. I think right now is the time for like this laser focus, intense concentration. Okay? But sure, it's like, yeah, one day I would like to start studying medicine again. One day I wanted to be a chef, There was like a year of my life where I just studied cooking nonstop. I wanted to be a cook. And my life took a different direction, and I focused on other things to try to bring about a long-term happiness and a long-term wealth. And maybe someday I can get back to, getting in the kitchen more and enjoying that again. But that's not going to be my life path. At least I don't think. Not right now. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of the, that's the dynamic that I'm trying to express here. Maybe I'm not doing a very good job, but I think you understand the feeling of it. All right. Now, up above the surface, here we have that Seven of Swords, which is a very strategic kind of person, independent, clever, trying to avoid distraction. Yeah, this is like trying to turn down the noise on all those other voices, whether those are coming from outside or those voices coming from inside, those voices that say, maybe we should have been a cook. Maybe we should have pursued music more. Maybe we should have gone into medicine like we wanted to. Maybe we should have been a psychologist. Instead of focusing on the path we're on now, we're busy focusing on all these other paths that we didn't take. And that's distracting you from focusing your energy and channeling it and harnessing it toward success. Okay? So seeing clearly now is realizing that, hey, this is the path we chose. And let's see it through, because all paths lead to the top of the mountain. But if we're just busy like jumping from path to path and like worrying and just reminiscing too much and getting stuck in all those other paths, we're not actually making the progress up the mountains. But you are. But you got that Two of Pentacles. You're climbing up that mountain. Okay? Don't let your past distract you. Don't let all of the unrealized versions of yourself distract you. There will be time to explore additional pathways later on. Right now, you have to make progress on the path you're on. And then perhaps we get to a position in life where you can explore all those other versions of you that you wanted to be, And I can be a pilot, and I can be a chef, and all these things, And so this is that card that's like we've got to stay mentally focused on the path in front of us in order to make some significant progress in that direction. Okay. And the Ten of Pentacles, of course, is that long-term prosperity, financial stability, long-term success, family security, the creation of legacy, the stable life, building something that lasts, it's generational wealth. It's everything in the material world coming together. Okay? And so this is a stability, right, that extends beyond you into other people's lives. It affects, you're changing your family tree, into something that endures beyond you. You are creating lasting success that supports both you and others. And maybe once we get here, we feel like we're getting closer to this, then maybe we can explore some of these other versions of ourselves, but now's not the time. Now's the time for focus. Now's the time to not get distracted. This is the present. This is past, present, future. In the present, there is this distraction. There are these past things, these old memories of the paths that we didn't take, the things that we had to set aside so that we can climb this particular path up this particular mountain. And we have to deal with these distractions now so that you can achieve this. And once you achieve this, then maybe there's opportunity to explore a lot of other things. We'll go deeper into those concepts in the extended reading for channel members, Patreon members. I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to everybody that has decided to join the channel and become a channel member or a Patreon member. It's a great way to support the channel, and you get obviously the extended readings and things, okay? So thank you for all of that. I appreciate that. Your general energy, the Ace of Wands, that laser focus. Somebody that is inspired. Somebody that knows that the path they're on is the right path for them and they can see that path clearly. The distractions are gone. They've turned down the noise of the world and they're on it. You know, somebody that feels an inspiration in their lives. This is somebody that is energetic, inspired and bold and creative. This is the energy that's seeking expression through you. And your task is not to look at the past and kind of question whether it's the right one or where it came from, but to bring it into form, to manifest it. The Ace of Wands all the way to the Ten of Pentacles, right? This is the beginning and the end, right? This is everything. And so it's really having this impulse and feeling this surge of energy. And it's kind of like we don't have to analyze, well, why did I pick this path instead of this path? Why did Spirit put me on this particular trajectory instead of that one? You know, what would have happened if I would have picked that path instead? Doesn't work like that. That's distraction. You know, this is you acting on your inspiration immediately and channeling your energy into your meaningful actions that are going to bring about your prosperity and your success here. You're a visionary, you know. You're geared for action, you know. You thrive on momentum, so we keep it going. Stay inspired, stay bold, stay passionate, stay motivated. Stay driven for this. Okay? This is something inside of you is pushing you to keep going with this in your life. Because, well, you are the magic maker, right? You're the magician here in the environment. You're out here weaving your spell in the world around you, and you're making things happen. Okay? And the only way to do that is to have focus. If the magician gets distracted, we're lost. We've got to launch the project, we got to give the talk, we got to turn the idea into action, we got to start the business, the side hustle. We have to focus on that. And when we have that laser focus, or you know, that sort of control over our own energies, right? It's like, you know, it's not a question of whether or not you have the power, but it's whether you claim responsibility for it and you choose to direct your energy and to direct your focus to create the outcomes that you choose. Not questioning, why did I choose this path and not another path? No, this is the path we chose. And if we want these outcomes, we have to direct our energy and our focus. Right now, your focus is you know, you're trying to see clearly because there are distractions and all this stuff. Okay? That's the job of the magician right now. As the entrepreneur, as the one with the skills and able to really focus that energy, right? Channel that energy and stay focused, your mental energy and your spiritual creative potency to get the outcomes that you desire, to make things happen, to create your universe. Okay? And with the Eon card here, this is a card of really a life-changing decision. I feel like you got to paint or get off the ladder, right? You can't have one foot in, one foot out. So if we're still kind of saying, well, maybe I should have done something else, maybe I should have picked one of these other paths, maybe I should go and do that path over there somewhere. You've got to either commit to going back to the drawing board and choosing a new adventure, or you've got to choose to go forward through that doorway and become the magic maker and start living that authentic life and start building that life that you desire. So this is where we're dabbling in different paths to see what we like. And this is us now. We've picked one and we're building it out, right? So you either have to step into your builder energy, your Prince of Cups energy, or step backwards into your Princess of Cups energy. It's your choice. Okay? So if you're seeing clearly, that means that you either know like, oh, this isn't the path for me. I better go back here and pick a different one. Okay, going back to Grand Central Station, you're going to get on a different train. Or you're seeing clearly that's saying like, this is definitely the path I want to be on, and I need to fully commit. Okay? And to me, that is really the essence of our Eon card right here, which is that choice, that life-defining choice. Stepping fully into this identity and not being half in, half out. We're not half-assing it, you know? You can't be on the fence about it because it's like you can't walk two paths at the same time, so to speak, okay? So this is the fear, worry, and concern because you're being called to respond to the life that you've been given. And this is you answering the call and stepping into your purpose. Even though we've got some doubts, we've got some, well, I don't know, maybe what if, and some kind of attachment to the other paths that were out there that we wanted, you know, or we thought we wanted. So this is that awakening. This is that really decisive, life-defining, self-defining, right, choice. You're being called. You're being summoned to a purpose. And you've got to commit, or we've got to refuse the call and go back to the Princess of Cups. It's a major decision point in your life, you know. I feel like you're being summoned. I think you're responding to the summons. I think you're answering the call. And you're stepping forward into claiming that energy and saying, yes, this is my life, and this is what I'm going to do. It's going to lead to long-term happiness and long-term wealth, but you've got to commit fully. You've got to focus your strength, and you've got to focus your mind. And you've got to become that prince, the Prince of Cups, who is fixed on that identity, fixed in that path. This is somebody who is really feeling like emotionally connected with the path, feeling like fully devoted to it. Yeah, kind of idealistic, right? But this is like this is feeling that you are living an authentic life, that you are moving in an authentic direction, okay? That you are living a path, living a life, following a path that is a true expression of you and what you value and what you want and the life that you want. And so there is that devotion and that commitment to it, okay? Because otherwise you got one foot out the door kind of, or it's just like you're not really sure, you're kind of on the fence. It's like I'm not fully committed to this. So it needs that full commitment, where it has that sense, that feeling of purpose and drive and almost that sense of like romance, you know, like you're on a quest for the Holy Grail. You're building the life that you truly desire. We're not going back to Grand Central Station. We're getting fully on board this train. The doors are closing, right? This is that fiery doorway. Once we step through, the door closes. You're getting on that train, and this is who you are. This is your authentic self on your authentic path. Now let's look at the mystery card. Might be an Ace of Swords. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's see. The Temperance card. Temperance card, in a way, is kind of considering options, yeah. This is a very patient type of person, and ultimately the Temperance card is like a pressure cooker. It's kind of like we're choosing to enter into the blacksmith shop, and that could be part of this too. It's just that we're kind of nervous about like having that kind of commitment, having a commitment that's saying, I got to say no to a bunch of other stuff. If I'm saying yes to this path, it means like I'm kind of closing the door on some other opportunities here. And so it's kind of scary, you know. It's that pressure cooker. And it's kind of like I'm accepting the challenges of this path. I'm accepting everything that goes along with this path. And it makes me nervous. Commitment is a nerve-wracking thing. This is somebody who is peaceful and calm, you know, and is regulated and kind of knows what they're getting into. and I think is willing to let themselves be molded and shaped by this path. Because it's a transformation. It's forming your identity. It's going to transform your personality. It's going to transform your life. That's a very scary thing. So it's like, yeah, we better choose wisely, you know. I think this is a wonderful confirmation. Now we're going to do our extended reading. For channel members and Patreon members, please click on the link in the corner or in the video description. New readings on this channel every day, 6 a.m. Minnesota time. Please come back and see me again tomorrow. All right. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.